So Pascal's wager is commonly said to be the worst argument in probably human history, not just in theology but overall, and it's commonly ranked among the bottom arguments for literally anything. So today I thought we could go through Pascal's wager and see if it's really that bad, if for no other reason than just for fun. Firstly, we must understand the Pascal's wager. Now, Pascal was a smart man, a smart mathematician, so surely he should have something smart to say, right? Most of the people who criticize Pascal's wager are probably not as smart as Pascal was. I mean, just statistically speaking. But why would such a smart man make such an argument? Now let's look at the Pascal's wager itself. It's basically a table, a 2x2 table, which states that either you believe in God or you don't, and God exists or God doesn't exist. If God exists and you believe in a God, you get an infinite reward. If God exists and you don't believe in it, you get an infinite punishment / infinite loss. Now, if God doesn't exist and you believe in God, you get a finite loss. And if God does not exist and you do not believe in God, you get a finite gain. So, basically the argument is, just mathematically speaking, you should bet on God, right? I mean, that's basically what Pascal said, and Pascal was a smart mathematician. Now, of course, a lot of people instantly point out that there's still a chance that you have a finite loss. And well, a loss is a loss. So if you're wrong and no God exists, you get a finite loss, and you don't want that, even if it's just finite. And so how can we make this better? Well, first we can steelman the position a bit by stating that atheism leads to nihilism. And you can argue that using infinite regression, basically just keep asking why to whatever someone says that life has meaning or morality or whatever, and you can just keep asking why. And well, eventually the person has to admit that they do not have a concrete answer, or they have to use circular logic. So instead of finite loss and finite gain on the side where God doesn't exist, we can actually make it that there's literally meaninglessness. It doesn't matter. It's basically neutral. And now we've eliminated the finite loss. So basically the options are infinite gain, infinite loss, meaninglessness, and meaninglessness. And so we've already eliminated, in a sense, the first criticism. Now, of course, the next criticism that everyone comes up with is, well, which God? I mean, it would be lovely if it was a coin flip and it would be a 50-50, but there's about 4,000 gods that exist. So which one? So now we're in a bit of a pickle. But we do have some ways to argue against this. First of all, I think everyone, including the people who make that statement, agree that not all gods are equally likely. So basically, it's not 1 in 4,000 that you choose the right god. Most likely it's something like 1 in 3, 1 in 4, or something along those lines. Of course, another criticism of this criticism is that, well, nobody actually just blindly picks a god and follows them. Nobody goes, whoop, we ended up on Christianity this time. Like, no one does that. In reality, most people usually, and well, hopefully, read about all the religions, at least the plausible ones, and then pick the one that seems the most plausible. And so the chances are not just blindly guessing out of whatever amount of gods you're picking from. You usually have some evidence either towards certain religions being the correct one, and maybe some evidence against some other religions probably not being the correct one. And so if you really want to think about this, you can depict this as a game show. Imagine a game show where there's a line of buckets. Under one of those buckets is a huge cash prize. Wow, everyone wants that, right? And well, now you just gotta go and find the cash prize out of the buckets. If we depict that game show as the Pascal's wager, you have basically two choices. Play the game or don't. If you don't play the game, then what are you doing? You're just missing out on a chance to win money. And well, if you don't play, that's just a pretty stupid choice, now isn't it? Because if you don't play, then you can't win, and what else are you gonna do with your time while you're in the studio? I mean, if you're in the game show, you might as well play because you have nothing better to do. So the logical choice is to play. Now the answer is, which bucket do I choose? Well, you just pick one and see it through. You pick up a bucket and see if this wasn't the correct one. And you know what, the game show host says, well, that's fine, you can just go and pick another. And then you have basically however much time you have to go through each bucket and try to find the correct one. And you know what, in reality there would probably be a lot of hints towards which is roughly the right one, if not literally which is the right one. And there would be a lot of evidence pointing you towards the right direction. And so if we depict Pascal's wager as this game show, it kind of seems like, well, you A, should play, you B, shouldn't just give up because your first try didn't work out, C, you basically have as long amount of time as you have on this planet, so why not keep trying? And so after we go through these steps, and we steal the man Pascal's wager, what is the answer? Well, the answer is that, well, you either don't play at all, which seems stupid because there's nothing to win and there's everything to lose. If you play the game, you have something to gain and nothing to lose. And well, just because the game might take some time, or because the game isn't instantly won the second you play, doesn't mean that you shouldn't play. And so maybe the Pascal's wager is onto something. And now you might be saying, well, you know what, yeah, this kind of makes sense that, we should search out for the truth and the answer, and we should look at all the religions and see which one is correct, and do all of those things. But this still doesn't prove God. And you're correct, because the point was never to prove God. Pascal's wager's point was never to prove God. It was to give you an argument for why you should search for God. That's the difference. Most people look at the Pascal's wager and say, this doesn't prove God, and throw it in the bin. But the whole point of the Pascal's wager is to not get you to believe in a God, but get you to search for a God. And for that purpose, I think Pascal's wager actually works, at least to some degree. And so after we steelmanned Pascal's wager and made it into a better argument where you have nothing to lose and everything to gain, and you should absolutely play, you really gotta ask the question, is Pascal's wager really that bad? Well, I'll let you be the judge. And as always, thanks for watching and have a great day.